Viking World in Keflavik, Iceland. Viking World is a museum in Njarðvík, Reykjanesbær, Iceland. The museum opened on May 8, 2009, followed by a formal opening on Icelandic National Day, June 17. The director was Elisabeth Ward. The building was designed by Guðmundur Jónsson. Iceland's history has long been intertwined with the Vikings. They go hand in hand, and there is no better place to learn about this than a visit to the best Viking museum Iceland has to offer, Viking World. You see, the Vikings settled Iceland with the first Viking visit happening by accident. Yes, a complete accident in around the start of the 8th century discovered one of the most stunning countries in the world. Gardar the Swede from Denmark was blown off course and as a result, discovered Iceland. This was the first of many Vikings landing in Iceland. It was only a natural progression that Iceland cash in on its Viking past with the large number of tourists that flock to this amazing island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Going to visit an Iceland Viking museum is a fantastic way to discover more about the Viking world and what actually went on in it. There are also so many Viking television shows now that have really opened many people's eyes to an era that may not have been as well known a few years ago. Viking World Museum Iceland is located close to Keflavik Airport. The Viking Museum Iceland is located in a purpose-built modern exhibition hall designed by an award-winning Icelandic architect. The first thing that strikes you about the Viking Museum is its location, is its clear lines, glass panels, and glistening blue water that laps up the background. The Icelandic that sits front and center is a replica of a Viking ship that was found intact and excavated in Norway in 1888. The Icelandic that now calls Viking World home, was built in 1992. Don't just think it's a model. This boat was sailed from Iceland to New York in 2000 to celebrate Leif Erikson's discovery of the United States of America. The ship is truly amazing and can be accessed from the second floor of the museum. You can walk on it and take in its size and design. Stand at the bow and pretend you are on a voyage of discovery seeking out faraway lands just like the Vikings of Iceland did in the past. You can walk on the ship, around the ship's upper deck and under the Viking ship. With all of this atches, you can really get a feeling for how an approaching Viking ship would have put the fear into anyone. Within Viking World you will find a Vikings of the North Atlantic exhibition with displays of many replica Viking artifacts. This exhibition showcases the Viking expansion across the North Atlantic Ocean. The Norsemen Vikings sailed everywhere from the North Sea to the Black Sea. For 2 centuries beginning in about 800 AD, the Viking expansion was on. This exhibition, supported by models, information boards, and computer displays, help you to see how they expanded. There is a small cinema area where you can watch movies on a big screen about the Viking world as we know it. When we were at Viking Museum Keflavik, they were showing a documentary on the crossing to New York. Other Viking documentaries dealing with the Norsemen Vikings of Iceland and their long history were entertaining and informing. A little kids' corner was near the cinema. If you have smaller kids, this may keep them occupied while you learn about the Vikings. The Settlement of Iceland display talks about the Vikings landing in this nation. The Settlement of Iceland exhibition displays Viking artifacts and archaeological findings from the Reykjanes region. Reykjanes Peninsula was first inhabited by the Norsemen Vikings from the 9th century, and ruins of the Viking village Iceland were found in the area. Photographs and illustrations round off the display of longhouses that were home to the first Viking settlers. Viking World Museum puts on a great display that tells the story of the settlements in the area. This section houses a model of a burial boat with displays of real Viking bones. We found this very educational for the kids, and the girls loved the way it was set out. Upstairs in the Viking Museum there is a Norse mythology and myths display. Our eldest daughter Willow really enjoyed learning about this. An audio guide in 4 languages is available, and a light show makes this an attractive educational display for the whole family. It's really a sensory exhibition with lights, sounds and shapes of the Norse gods. The Fate of the Gods display introduces the religion of Norsemen some 1,000 years ago. You will hear about Asgard, where the gods lived, to hear about in the leader of Norse gods. Come and learn about the society of pre-Christian Scandinavians. Outside lies a mock Viking village and farm. In the months where the Iceland weather is good, you will find animals for the kids to play with and watch. The Viking World Settlement Zoo contains lambs, calves, kids, and birds. This Viking village in Iceland rounds off a memorable day at the Viking World Museum. There are plans afoot for a playground, the Vikings Playground. This is certainly a great Iceland for kids attractions. In conclusion, we found the Viking World Museum a great tourist attraction in Iceland. We have now added the Viking Ship Museum in Oslo, Norway to our list of Viking sites to see. We spent around 2 hours at this awesome Viking museum. Activities in Iceland like this are very educational for kids and adults alike, as it shows you a history from where it actually happened. Don't just visit the Blue Lagoon or see the Northern Lights. Visiting a Viking museum in Iceland is a must for the whole family. We can see the Viking World Museum growing into one of the top tourist attractions in Iceland in the coming years. Like us and join us at Extreme Collections for more fun and knowledge.